Hello, this is workshop 3 for our Psychic Skills Activator. Number 3, these are the 3 biggest mistakes you don't want to make when increasing your psychic development and your crucial magnification keys for when using your psychic skills in everyday life and your business, of course. So let me just jump in to this live stream in here and bring up the comments. All right, just bringing in this video here, bear with me. Perfect, okay. Yay! Yay, hello! Hi everybody! Perfect, okay. Need to mute that though. Alright, so let's get officially started. So you'll have your Psychic Skills Activator Workbook. If you don't have that, just comment PDF and you can register and you'll get sent the email with the book in there. So we're on day 3. This is, as I mentioned just before, the 3 biggest mistakes you don't want to make when increasing your psychic development. And these are your crucial magnification keys for amplifying your psychic skills in your business and everyday life. So, hi, welcome guys. So, the 3 biggest mistakes that you don't want to make. Number 1 is not trusting the messages you receive. It's like a no-brainer. Look, the trust card is like sitting here jumping out at me on an open deck that I have here. Trust. Is not trusting the messages you receive. Now, this can be multifaceted and multi-layered when we talk about this level of trust for this, yeah? So for example, it's like, as we'd spoken yesterday in our workshop 2 training, we can receive messages and then we brush them off, right? And then the other piece here is not trusting yourself to know how to be able to do this stuff. So yesterday, again, we tapped into this in the third eye activation around, like, you know how to do this. You've been doing this for lifetimes. Do it. Like, just do it, right? Everything that you learn in a course that you take on psychic development that you're drawn to, or whichever personal development that is, you are remembering what you already know. When you give yourself permission to just go and do things, like in the spirit world, if you may, like you 100% have done this before, you 100% know what you're doing. However, just like, I don't know if this is the best analogy, but it's one that's come to mind. So we might know how to drive a car, but if we want to get onto like a Formula 1 racetrack, we're going to need some extra training. Yeah? We can do psychic readings. I'm encouraging you to explore the spirit world, to trust yourself. You've been doing this for lifetimes, like 100%. But if you're really serious about growing your skills, you're gonna need some extra training. Yeah? Because when we're stepping onto that Formula 1, it's not the best example, is it? When we're stepping onto the racetrack, if we don't know what we're doing, definitely we're not gonna win. Definitely, like, it's a different sort of car. It needs different sort of like skill set. You're with all these other like really professional drivers, like they know what they're doing. You know, it's kind of like, you know, for your own safety, you're gonna need to know what to do in this sort of a car, on this sort of a track with these sorts of people around you. So when you enter the spirit world and you start playing around with psychic stuff, you're kind of entering into a world where all these people are in there, if you may, and you're gonna need to know what you're doing. Because when we open up to the psychic world, we're opening up to the dark and the light, right? It's not just all angels, there's demons and darkness and stuff hanging out in there too, right? I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying that trusting, right? The number 1 biggest mistake is not trusting the messages you receive on a multifaceted, multi-leveled, layered trust, okay, of not trusting the messages you receive. Number 1, you don't even go there because you don't think that you're good enough, but actually you've been doing this for lifetimes, so you do know what the fuck you're doing. But consciously in this lifetime, that stuff's usually suppressed, or I'm gonna say not, I don't know if denied is the right word, like it's asleep in you, right? So yes, you can go into the spirit world, for example, and you know what you're doing, like you've done this, you've trained in this for lifetimes, but consciously in this lifetime, you actually don't remember, we don't remember, okay? But you're drawn to this sort of work because this is what you do, like you've done this for lifetimes, yeah? Hence why getting extra training, if you want to take this serious, this is, you know, where it's at. So when you're not trusting the message, right? So like I said, it's multifaceted. So number one, not trusting any messages you receive, you brush them off. Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday. Number two, trusting yourself and giving yourself permission to go into like the realms of the spirit world. You've done this for lifetimes, but also if you really want to go and explore all the worlds, you're going to need some training. Yeah, consciously to remember in this lifetime what you used to do, so that we don't get flawed and blindsided by darkness and all the things. There's a lot of darkness out there, right? There's a lot of light, but there's a lot of darkness that equals it. Okay. So trusting the messages you receive, and this takes practice. Yeah, it does take practice. Like how many times have you brushed your intuition off and then you've been like, oh, I wish I'd listened to that. Okay. But the next time you have an experience and you're like, oh, like my experience with the snake in the shed, right? It was like, oh, next time I sense that, I'm just going to trust, okay? If I'm sensing there's a crocodile in the water that I can't see, I get the fuck out of there. I'm not going to hang around to find out. You know, it's like, it's that sort of a trust, right? So when you're like looking at that, it's kind of like next time it happens, you're going to pick it up quicker. Okay, you're going to listen to yourself quicker. You're going to listen to the signs. It's not that like when you enter into something and you're like, oh, that's a red flag. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Oh, and you keep going. It's not that you're not listening. Okay, you're very conscious and aware, but there's always a divine timing when it's like, this is not for me, and that's where it ends, right? Or you're listening to your intuition about taking action on something, and you're like, actually, I need to do this. But you don't do it, and it's kind of like there's a difference between procrastinating and avoiding and sabotage, to never doing what you know you need to do, to also like, oh, I know I need to do this and there's a divine timing with it. That's like a bit of a, again, that's a trust, right? That's a trust in understanding when to actually push through and do something that makes you really uncomfortable, or just be able to like know that there's a divine timing, but you know 150 million% when you're sabotaging and when you're avoiding making a decision, like you know that in yourself, right? Now, when we don't listen on that level, okay, that's when life gets bad. That's when we will get sick. That's when we will, I don't know, bad things happen. And all it is your intuition is like, okay, you're going to listen yet? Because it's going to get louder. Like if you don't listen and pay attention, you might be listening, but you're not taking action. So if you don't take action, we'll do it for you. And you know that the hard, like choose your hard, right? This is going to be hard, but this is probably going to be harder. Yeah. So we want to train ourselves to listen when we know it's right to take action, even when it doesn't make logical sense. I want to say like the jumping into the crucial magnification key, right? One of the crucial magnification keys, meaning like to amplify your intuition, is trusting and taking action when it doesn't make logical sense. Like you might be getting little signs like, oh yeah, like that doesn't feel right. Oh, that doesn't feel good anymore. Like something's off here. Like, you know, you can feel it, right? And it's like, you know you need to leave, for example, but it doesn't really make logical sense to, or you might like, oh, no, it's not that bad, or no, actually your intuition is like guiding you. Yeah. So it's really about, it's really about being able to trust. When I say trust, I mean take action on. Everybody can trust. Taking action is a whole different level of strength, is a whole different level of confidence, is a whole different level of anchoring your intuition in, and you becoming a completely different person, because your intuition is guiding you on the path of your purpose, and it's leading you to become somebody. It is leading you to become somebody. You don't do psychic development work. You don't do intuitive psychic readings and do all this healing and trauma releasing to be able to function, well, you do function better, but to be able to achieve something in the world. You do all that to become someone, and through your becoming, you create magic in the world through your becoming, because you became that person who did the thing, but the doing the thing wasn't why you did it. You became the person, and that was a byproduct of who you became. If you are not listening to your intuition, you will get wake-up calls and physical things will happen in your life until you take action. Yeah? So, okay, sorry, I jumped a little bit there. It's a strong message coming through. So we've done the three biggest mistakes we've done. Number one, which is trusting the messages. And then we jumped into the crucial magnification key of following your intuition when it doesn't make logical sense. If you want to strengthen your intuition, you take action when you receive that intuition without questioning it, without needing confirmation, without, it's not that you'll take action without fear. You'll probably feel fear, you'll probably doubt yourself, but you're going to do it anyway because you know that this is the right thing to do. And it's like there's such a surrender energy in trusting God, trusting your higher self, trusting your intuition, that again, this is a becoming of who you are. When you do this, life becomes magical. When you become that person who is embodied in their intuition, life becomes magical. You're not waiting around for confirmation. You're not waiting around for the signs. You're not waiting. No, you are the sign, right? The biggest part of you, not just trusting your intuition, but becoming who you are from trusting your intuition, okay? Because that is like, if you want to find your life purpose, you need to do that. Your life purpose is not told by somebody else. I can't tell you your life purpose. Your life purpose is birthing through you in every second that you're breathing, and whether you're listening to your intuition and acting on it, meaning you're becoming something your intuition is guiding you to do, okay, to be in the world. And if you're not, you're getting further and further away from your purpose. You're probably a shell of who you really are, okay? You probably feel older before your time. You probably feel like everything's against you and everything's the worst thing in the world, okay? Because your intuition is trying to like bring this life force through you, and in that, your purpose is in there. Nobody can unlock that but you. If you want to find your life purpose, you must become what your intuition is becoming you to be. To birth you to be. Whatever, you get the point, right? Really strong messages this morning. Okay, so the number two biggest mistake of that you don't want to make, right? Number two is not practicing outside your comfort zone. Kind of what we're just talking about, right? On a whole, that like what I was just talking about is a very deep level. Yeah, it's a very, very deep level. Yeah. Like if you're not practicing outside your comfort zone in your psychic skills and abilities, you will take longer to grow. Now, yes, I am talking about jumping on a live stream, and not just once. I'm talking about on a regular basis on whichever platform you choose to build and grow from. I'm talking about jumping on a live stream on a regular basis. And I'm really reiterating this regularity, this consistency, this discipline, this dedication and devotion to increasing your skills, because you know that it's making you become someone and something, and you're learning much from the process. It's not about just doing it, it's who you're becoming from doing it and your skill set that you're acquiring from doing it. Yes, I am talking about jumping on a live stream. Like I said, just pick one platform and just do it regularly, right? If you've got a full-time job, awesome, then do it on the weekends. Do it every weekend without fail, right? Do it 3 times a week after work. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no fucking excuses here, okay? Your only excuse is that you're not wanting to grow. So just be real. Say, Hannah, I don't want to grow. I'm happy in my little comfort zone, and I really want to be psychic, but I'm not doing anything about it, so I'm not going to complain about it anymore, because I'm just going to be honest. Divine step number 1 in finding your life purpose is being honest. It's honesty. Is getting outside your fucking comfort zone. That could mean going to a market stall every week for 2024 and doing psychic readings just to expand your skills. Yes, charge for it. But it's like, do it on a regular basis. Like when I first began online in 2016, I was live streaming and blogging every single day. And when I first started in 2016, I was teaching yoga workshops. I was running yoga classes. I'm pretty sure I was doing something else. I was a mum. I had all the homeschool stuff to deal with. And I still started turning up on live stream every single day. And I did that for the first like 2.5 years. I didn't stop. So I got so much content. Go on my website, go on my YouTube, there's so much content. Why? Because I've been doing it. And every day I wrote a blog. Every day I did a live stream on Facebook. Every single day. Every single day. Some days were an hour and a half, some hours, like sometimes it was 2 hours, sometimes it was 20 minutes. But every fucking day I showed up. Did that increase my psychic skills? Hell fucking yeah. And it made me get clients that I started to get clients now every single day since 2018, right? In my Telegram clients. And that, number one, stepped me outside my comfort zone. Didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was mucking around like in the beginning. And what I mean by that is like I offered $49 psychic readings that I audio recorded and I sent them to my clients via email. And then in 2018, that's when the 21-day shifter program dropped in and I've had clients on it ever since. Those things wouldn't have happened if I wasn't outside of my comfort zone and pushing myself in areas where my intuition was guiding me to push and to become. Now, there was something else I was going to say. For those of you who just did my clearing every sexual partner ritual, I shared yesterday when we were doing third eye that the sacral chakra, they're interconnected, right? They're both one in from the top and the bottom. And I'm like, when we're working on this, this is going on. And the clearing every sexual partner ritual would really come through energetically just before we did these workshops. And so a lot of people had started doing it and I was sharing it with them. It's my free ritual. If you haven't done it, just comment ritual below and I'll send it to you. When you watch that explanation video, you'll see me back in, it would have been 2018. That ritual, the clearing every sexual partner ritual came from, in my Telegram clients, right? One of my clients is like, I can't remember the question she asked me, right? But it was something about how do I clean out my sexual, like how do I clean my womb or something like that, right? And I was like, in myself about, I don't know. Didn't say that to her, but I was like, you know, I get asked these questions, but when we do this psychic work, it's not from us. We're not the ones fucking doing the healing. Spirit channels through us in every single thing we do. We know that. And of course, as always, on cue, Spirit gives me the clearing every sexual partner ritual. That is where that came from. When a client asked me a question and then Spirit gave me the answer and all you guys are benefiting from it. What is it? I don't know how many years later. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25 years later. The reason I'm sharing this story, okay, because one of the three biggest mistakes you don't want to make is not pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. When I first got on Facebook and did my first ever live stream, do you know what I did? I was sitting in my bedroom. I was really scared. I'm pretty sure I sat on my bed for an hour before I went on this fucking live, before I pressed live. I'm like, I pressed live. And I was like, no lighting, no camera, no nothing, like just my phone held in my hand. I was like, I'm really nervous. Hi, I'm Hannah, and I'm really nervous. And I know I need to start doing live streams. I'm talking to my phone in my hand, right? I know I need to start doing live streams, and I'm just starting today with this one. I will see you tomorrow. Beep. There's no beep when you're, you know, just whatever, you get it. But I did that because my commitment was live stream every single day. 2.5 years I did that to build my business online, right? I'm a single mom, didn't have a backing to start my business, I just started and everything I earned went straight back into my business. Still a lot of it does today, right? And it's like, but I did it because I made the commitment to go live every day. Now, most of the time I do psychic readings, but if you go onto my website, onto my self-help page, realityawareness.com /, it's just self-help, like find the self-help page on there or just comment self-help and I'll send it to you. There is so much content on there, right? And when you start exploring my website, there's so much content. I would not have that self-help page. I would not have my website as it is if I didn't do that 2.5 years of fumbling around, getting on live stream, talking about whatever Spirit wanted me to talk about in those moments. And most of the time I was doing psychic readings. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Maybe online's not for you, but like I said, if you're going to do something, do it consistently. like show up whether you feel like it or not, okay? And choose one platform and just start there. Just focus on one platform, get to know it inside out, and then go from there. Easy. But you'll only not do it if you don't want it. So if you don't want it, don't sit around thinking, oh, I should be doing that. Just go and fucking do something else, whatever. Just go and live a happy little life not doing this work. Just be okay with that, okay? Just stop things. I feel like I'm in the Wildly Wealthy Witches training already. So number 3, part 3 of the Wildly Wealthy Witches is about to birth. It's been a long time coming. It's been like gestating this huge friggin' thing. If you haven't seen the Wildly Wealthy Witches 3-part training, comment which below and I'll send it to you. There's a lot of business development talk in that. So, okay. But it's like pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone is number 2. Okay. Like I said, like, you know, doing it with friends and family, that's all well and good, you know, but really, you know, like pushing yourself to just throw yourself in the deep end is how you're going to learn the fastest, how you're going to understand. And when I say learn the fastest, I mean like learn how your intuition communicates to you by continuing to just do readings. Okay, the fastest way is to do readings. Okay, you can sit there and meditate and normal all you like, but the fastest way to increase your skills is to actually do readings. Yeah, get yourself, you only need 1 deck of cards. Okay, it doesn't have to be fancy, just get to know 1 deck, just do your thing, right? So it's like just do, like, just commit to something, push yourself out of your comfort zone. Like I said, you could decide that, okay, for 2024, I'm going to do a market stall every Sunday at this particular market, whether it's rain, hail, shine, whether I feel like it or not, whether if anyone comes for a reading or not, I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to grow from it, and the Spirit's going to show me stuff, and I'm going to learn, and then I'm going to do something else. Whatever. It'll lead you to the next thing, right? So just choose something, for goodness sake. Practicing outside your comfort zone. Okay, and then the 3rd biggest mistake you don't want to make when you're stepping into this realm is not continuing your own growth and work on yourself. Now, this is like a no-brainer, and I want to add into that, like, you don't have to be perfectly healed to be able to do this work, all right? A lot of people are like, oh, I need to do more healing, or I need to be healed, and I'm like, no, you don't. You need to step into what it is, because we're always going to have, like, nobody's perfect, number 1, okay? Everyone's got their own stuff, their own shit running all the time. If I'd let all my stuff, my relationship stuff, my personal stuff, my family stuff, my fuck knows what other stuff go on and go, oh, I can't show up on live stream today because I'm sad, or I can't do this because, you know, I get distracted, or I'm really tired today, or I've got my period today, or no. Like, no, right? Like, you wouldn't, when you start doing this work, is that it's exactly, if you don't have the mindset, okay, that it's like going to a normal 9-to-5 job. Like, you don't wake up, you wake up and you're like, I don't feel like going to work, but you have to go to work, and you go to work, okay? And you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't feel like going to work today, and you just ring into your boss and you do that every day. We're not going to have a job for very long, okay? Like, you need to have that mindset when you're doing this for you, okay? And you're doing it to build a business, or you just want to increase your skills, you must look at it with the same mindset as that, okay? So the 3rd biggest mistake, like I said, is not continuing your own growth. Now, usually people like us, we thrive in this personal development realm. Like, we can't get enough of it. It feeds our soul. We are constantly learning. We're constantly pushing ourselves to the extremes. In these realms, we're like so interested, we just want to learn all about all the things in the worlds, right? In the realms, in the dimensions, and take me beyond something I can't even fathom right now, okay? And oh, hang on, let me come back to Earth as well. Right? It's like we usually are really good at our own work, okay? But it's like really being conscious of when we're triggered, and when we're like diverting away from what we should be doing. Like, it's like, and this is where having a mentor keeps you on path in whichever way, shape, or form. Whether you're in a training support group, like for example my Trust Intuition, like we go through the training and we have the fortnightly support calls each week to go through that, each fortnight to go through the trainings and the support with whatever you're going through. Because when the reality is when we step into doing a course on personal or psychic development in whichever way, shape, or form, stuff comes up. Like, that's the whole point of doing a course, is that we are healing from something in some way, shape, or form. Even if we're training to be a certified healer, for example, like in Trust Intuition, which Trust Intuition investment increases like, I don't know, in a couple of days. It's less than 48 hours now. So just comment trust below if you want the details of Trust Intuition. So, and the thing is that like, we'll be like, yeah. And then we'll sort of hit a wall and we're like, ugh, and all that stuff's coming up. And it's like, and this is where being in the correct support groups that understand that, can see that, you know, I've been doing this for almost 20 years to be able to support people through their stuff. I can see a lot of things that people can't see in ways. And then I need mentors in my life to be able to see things, because you know how like we can really see it for other people, but we struggle to see it for ourselves. That's what mentors are for. That's what being in like support groups and groups that you resonate with to really accelerate in the areas that you want to be in, right? The worst place you want to hang out in, okay, is in people who hate this spiritual work, think it's fucked up, crazy, and that goes for your immediate family, okay? Some immediate families are really, really, really supportive, and others will pull you down and try and shut you down, and you need to step away from them whilst you do this work, right? You will have to do that if you're in around those sorts of areas, yeah? Like, we'll just block it out somehow, but it's really important. Okay, so the support network that you have whilst you're doing this work will make you or break you. Okay, crucial magnification keys. We tapped into one of them when I got into that flow before. Following your intuition when it does not make logical sense. It made no logical sense for me to invest 80,000 kilometers, I always said, $80,000. When I was, in 2018, I invested $80,000. I hadn't even made, like, it was 5 months after I stepped into her training groups that I made my first $6,500 month. It made no logical sense for me to invest $80,000 that I did not have, okay, I was on a payment plan, that I did not have when I hadn't even made, I think I'd made $1,700 in a month, like ages ago in that 2.5 years. And then I signed up to her course to step into her inner circle and her mentorship, because I knew that pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, I would grow, and fuck I did. I faced some really fucking hard shit. It was like full on, right? Those of you who knew me back then, you know what I went through. Like, it made no logical sense whatsoever to invest that when I didn't have that. But the thing is that when you know you were born to impact the world, when you are here to make radical, rapid, rippling change throughout the entire world and change the fucking world, okay? When you have this innate calling within yourself, investing doesn't even, you don't even blink an eye in it. Why? Because you're putting yourself in outside your comfort zone, in places where people who are changing the world already are already doing it. Yeah, they're making an impact, they're living a life that you want, they have the skills that you want to learn, and the fastest way that you're going to accelerate and push through, okay, is by placing yourself in that. Now, I invested that, and then it's like, then my real income started really kicking up, right? It was like, I'd made $6,500, like it was like 5 months later, I made my first $6,500 in a month, and then the next 5 months after that, I made $100K in 5 months. And it was like, then it just kept accelerating. And it's like, if I did not invest that and push myself outside of my comfort zone, I didn't tell anyone. I told my best friend, and I was so nervous to tell her that I just like signed up. I was like, she came over. It was so funny. I remember so much because I was like, I was acting really weird because I was just like in myself. I'm like I knew I'd done the right thing, but I was just like, and even the energy of it and everything, it's a whole different container, it's a whole different world, right? Single mom on the pension, like been pushing in my business, made no logical sense whatsoever. And it's like, and then I must have been like, I was feeling with, I knew not to tell anyone. I knew not to tell, especially my family and everything. I hadn't really spoken to them much, like whatever. I just knew not to tell anyone because of their judgment, and like, it makes no logical sense, right? And she came over, I don't know, whatever she was doing. And then she's like, are you all right? I was like, no. She's like, what happened? And I was like, I just signed up to my mentor's 12-month course. And I told her like how much it was, and she's like, oh. I said, I haven't told anybody. Like I said to her, I was like, I haven't told anybody because I just, you can't tell people. She's like, when I signed up to Bob Proctor's course like years ago, she's like, I didn't tell anyone either because of the investment and what they would have thought. Like, you know, and I was like, oh, you get it. Okay, I was like, okay. She's been my best friend ever since, right? So, But it's these things of like pushing ourselves outside our comfort zone, right? When you know, right? And the thing is that I wouldn't recommend people to invest $80,000 into a mentorship training, right? Or likewise, or invest anything, okay? If you don't believe that you are here to make massive impact in the world, if you are not self-motivated, if you want to sign up and then complain about how bad, you know, the money is that you've just invested into something, this is also not for you, okay? If you don't want to grow, if you don't want to step outside your comfort zone, if you don't want to push yourself, if you want to hang around and just be in your happy little like toxic narcissistic family life, well, you can do that, okay? Like, there is no judgment from me about what you choose to do, because your intuition is guiding you, and I'm like, can you just trust your intuition with what you're being guided to do, please? Who am I to tell you what's right for you? But if you know you're here to impact the world, to change the world, to make massive waves through your business, through your psychic development, through doing all of these things, then yes, fucking invest and push yourself outside of your comfort zone and leave your old life behind. Because anyone who's successful in doing anything that they want to do, right, and you deem successful and they're living the life, I guarantee you they would have stepped away from things that were not working in their life anymore and stepped away from things that were pulling them down. So, okay, this is like following the crucial magnification keys to not only your intuition, but your life purpose, right? And this comes back to what we were saying in the start of this, in the 3 biggest mistakes, is not trusting where your intuition is pushing you to become. Yeah, your intuition is pushing you to become somebody, okay? Like, you know who you are, you're pretty confident, but you also don't know what the fuck your purpose is, but you know you're here for more. And it's just like, I know I'm supposed to do something. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to support myself and push myself and make shit happen, right? You're self-driven, you're motivated, you do this stuff, yeah? So following your intuition where it doesn't make logical sense. That is how you amplify your intuition more. Just like we're talking about with trusting the messages, it's like you trust and you take action before it makes logical sense, even when it doesn't make logical sense, before you have the confirmation. There is no way that I would be where I am today in my business, in my life, in all the things and what's about to birth as well, if I did not do that 3 years in that mentorship with her. I know it, 100% know it. And what's funny is I was going to sign up with a different mentor. Like, you know, I'd always thought that I was going to go with this particular mentor, and I ended up signing up with this other one. Like, it's sort of last minute, but I was like, I wanted to work with them both anyway. But, you know, and then when I look at where they are in their lives now, I was like, wow, I was always meant to be with her. So it never makes logical sense, but you trust. You're always guided to invest in yourself, to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and to do things that have never been done before, because that is the basis of your life purpose. That's what your intuition is pushing you to become. And if you're not going to trust and follow through on your intuition at that level and that core, then just don't complain that you're not psychic enough, okay? Or things aren't working out for you. It's like, well, go and take action on where your intuition's guiding you to take. Okay, crucial magnification key number 2. Is your own practice and rituals for not only taking care of yourself, but your psychic development. Now, we just tapped into that one of them, just one of them. There's 50 million of them. We tapped into one of them yesterday in workshop number 2, and we went through the third eye, clearing, activation, all of that there. So your amplification and your manifestation magnification key, right? To having really clear, accurate intuition and building that. So you're a walking psychic oracle, because you are anyway, but it's like being clear, so clear in what that is and feeling all the energies and stuff, is your own practice, right? And this does come into, like, you know, the biggest mistake is not continuing your own growth and personal development, even though you do this work, right? It's like, you know, having your own practice and rituals, and that could be your course of study alongside the meditation rituals, you know, and it's not like, oh, you need to do this ritual and then you'll be great. Like, no, you know that I'm an intuitive healer, you know that I train intuitive healers, and the thing is that there is like a million different bodies on the planet, there's a million different psyches on the planet, and every single person has had a different experience of their life, and even when people see the same event, they're going to have a different perception given their this lifetime traumas and then past lives and interdimensional, and we could just keep going. So when I talk about finding your ritual and your practice, now you might be someone who's a busy mom running a household or whatever the story is, or running an empire, okay, and you don't have time to do a 5 a.m. ritual or a 6 a.m. ritual every morning for like 2 hours because you got to get kids to school. Like, it just doesn't work for you. And the thing is that finding your ritual, finding your own practice is about finding your practice. It could be that you go to a yoga class every Monday. It could be that you do your own yoga practice every Monday at home. It could be that when you drop the kids off at school, you come home and you jump straight into your practice for an hour and nobody interrupts your time and you don't book any appointments or anything during that time either. Like, it's your dedicated ritual. If you want to grow and amplify your intuition and your psychic skills, all of these pieces, for a period of time, you are going to have to be really disciplined and strict on your rituals. You are, okay? You can't become a Formula One race car driver who gets onto that track and wins the race with the type of car, with the level of fitness you need to wear all those suits in those hot cars, to be able to understand the car itself, to be able to understand the track, the other drivers on the road, the pressure from all the, like, what is it, the people who are sponsoring you. Like, there's so many factors, right? And so if you're not training for that, you're gonna collapse before you even get in the car. Okay? So you're going to understand what I'm saying when I'm talking about a ritual to amplify your intuition. Like, if you think just doing like a once-off, like, third eye meditation is going to like make you fully psychic and understand your intuition, like, I'm sorry, but you need to wake up. And what I mean by that is, like, disciplined practices will change your fucking life and change the trajectory of your psychic awareness, let alone your life purpose. For example, when in 2005 I had my spiritual awakening and I did the year-long Lightworker practitioner training, after that I moved to Brisbane and I worked in a menswear store. And that I got my own place. I was living like dual living, but I had most of the house to myself. And it was like that 18 months in that house became such a ritual. And, you know, I was by myself. I was like 22, I think. I'd taken myself off drugs through the spiritual course. Like, I was like, I stopped taking drugs in August. Was it July? No, May. It was May 2006 I stopped taking drugs. And that was like the last of it, sort of tapered off over the last 9 months. But it was like May 2006 I stopped taking drugs. And then I found yoga classes in the city. So I worked in the city, and every morning, like, I'd catch the bus from where I was living into the city to work. And then 3 times a week I went to a yoga class in the city before I came home, before I caught the bus home. And I did that for 18 months straight. Alongside that, I was doing an hour-long holosync meditation practice. And I did that for 18 months. Like, you know, I'd come home and I'd do that before bed religiously. Like, I just did. No one would stop me from my practices. And I did that for 18 months. Right, and every time I caught the bus, I'd be listening to like Louise Hay or Wayne Dwyer or Eckhart Tolle, or I was just in it. And it might sound, oh, well, that's all well and good, Hannah, because, you know, like, you didn't have kids. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't, right? And it was really, really powerful for me to do that. You know, I'm pretty sure most 22-year-olds are out partying or whatever. I don't know. I did go partying, but I was like, I don't need drugs anymore. And then I'd go and like check the DJ set just to see the actual DJ time. And then I'd make sure I'd get there on time, and then I'd leave as soon as he'd finish and go home to bed, like, whatever. But anyway, it's the music that always did it for me. It was always about the music. Anyway, the point is that fast forward to now, okay, years later, and it was probably, I don't know, in the first 12 months that I was living in this house where I am now. And I'm out in the country, and I found this guy who does home gym stuff. Like, he's a fitness trainer, he's got a home gym set up, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so I went to him to do, you know, to join his classes, but went for the like initial meet and greet and health checkup. And I don't know, he was doing all these testing things on me and whatever. And then, I don't know, he put whatever on my brain and like looked at the little machine and stuff like that. And he's like, you meditate regularly. And I looked at him, and because in myself, I was like, just come off a 5-month road trip after, like, in COVID, just moved house, like, you know, and in myself, I'm like, I fucking haven't meditated for months, actually. Like, you know, because I've been going through all that change and everything. Like, I didn't, at that point, minute in time, I didn't have practice. But as soon as he said it, my mind went back to that 2006, 2007, when for 18 months, I was like religiously doing that holosync, like hour-long meditation for 18 months. And that's why I always say to you, I'm like, you really want to change your life? Stick to something for 9, 12, or 18 months. Like, it might seem like a long time, but in the blip of time, it's fuck all. And that, when you commit to something like that, it will change the trajectory of your life. Now, I'm not talking about you have to do something every day, but if you do, it will amplify you. And if you do something every day, what happens? When we do something every day, we don't feel like it. I'm not doing that every day, Hannah. Are you kidding me? But when we do something every day, when we don't feel like it, we're pushing ourselves outside our comfort zone. We're training our brain to get out of our comfort zone. That will change your life, especially when you stick to it for 9, 12, or 18 months. It will change the trajectory of your life if you stick to it every day, or stick to a routine. For, like for example, I was going to yoga 3 times a week alongside everything else I was doing at that time. But I would never miss those classes. People are like, would you like to have dinner? I'm like, yeah, 8:15, I'll be finished yoga and we can have dinner then. Like, no joke, I would do it. I was like, no, I'm not interrupting my yoga class, right? And so it's like, commit to something for like 18 months. Like, if I look back over my life, that 18 months back in 2005, 2006, 2007 changed the trajectory of my life, right? I don't know where I would have been, probably dead on a gutter somewhere, the drugs I was taking, whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's like, it changed the trajectory of my life. And when he put the things, like just the other year in 2020 when I went and saw him, and he put the things, he's like, you meditate lots. And I was like, I haven't meditated for ages. But my mind went to that 2006 time when I was meditating every day for an hour, okay? Because I had the time. Like, if you've got the time, you've got no fucking excuses, okay? If you've got excuses, then you need to meditate more, by the way. But anyway, the point is that my brain went to when I was meditating for an hour, because it changes your brain's, not only just your brainwave state while you're in it, it changes your physiology. If you want to change your life, stick to something for 18 months and don't miss a beat. If you don't want to change your life, don't worry about it. Just keep going and doing what you're doing. But don't complain that your life's not changing. Okay, I'll go through the comments in a moment. Okay, third one for amplifying your manifestation abilities. Interesting. For magnification of your intuition. Not comparing yourself to others and not copying others. Ooh, big one. That's a big one. Not comparing yourself to others and not copying others. It's very normal when you're finding your voice in your purpose, in your life, in your business, to copy others. We don't even mean to do it. We don't do it on purpose, and we just sometimes we don't realize we're doing it. Now, I always encourage people to do psychic readings, like live online, like I did at the start of this live stream, right? Or at the market, or whatever it is. Like I encourage you to do that, right? I encourage you to do, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. For some reason, the market store's coming back to my mind. It's like, and I was like talking about, commit to something. And I was like, for 2024, you might want to just commit to like the market store and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. So I don't know why that's coming to mind, but it's kind of like, okay, so it's coming to mind because how many people do psychic readings at market stores, for example, right? And you might be like, oh, I'm copying them. Or if you want to write a recipe book and you're like, oh, there's how many recipe books already out there, like, right? And I'm like, okay, number one, you are born to do something that's not yet on the planet, like 100%, okay? You are. But number two, you will not find that until you take action on what your intuition is guiding you to do right now. You will not find and uncover the thing that's buried deep down that is your unique thing to birth that's not on the planet yet. You will not find that until you do this thing that's telling you to do this first. It's like uncovering the layers. Could be the market store, for example, or doing regular live streams, or doing, I don't know, distance healings, or doing Like, do you know what I mean? And it will seem like you're copying others, but if you don't trust what you're being guided to do, those layers won't come out. Because just like I was showing before, maybe I didn't actually quite get there with that story, but when I said the clearing every sexual partner ritual that you guys have been asking for and have been doing, that came when I was talking to clients. That wouldn't have come through to now help the world if I didn't have clients. But I started doing daily live streams every day for 2.5 years. And I created the 21-day shifter program through a journaling practice that came through about how do I want to feel when working with my clients, because I didn't want to book calls at that point. I didn't want, my schedule to be taken up. I was enjoying surfing at the Surfing Mums back then. Like, no one's taking up my time during the day. What are you talking about? I'll do readings at night time when everyone's asleep and I can record them and email them off. Like, it was my schedule, right? But all of these pieces didn't come while I was sitting around waiting and wondering what my life purpose was. Life happens and your life purpose bursts when you're taking action on the next thing. Okay, so when it's like not comparing or copying others, don't let the comparison syndrome stop you from doing what you're being guided to do. If you're being called to write a raw food recipe book and you're like, oh, there's so many of those out there, and you don't do that, in the process of writing the raw food recipe book, you might meet the love of your life who's a publisher, and then you start publishing more books. And then your life purpose opens up. Why? Because your intuition was pushing you to become somebody. And if you didn't trust that, you would just be still here wondering, waiting, and probably being really upset in the process. So don't compare or copy others, but notice when you do feel like you're copying others, and ask what that is, and ask like if there's a way that you can be uniquely doing it. So for example, doing the psychic readings online, for example, right? If you're doing psychic readings online, on live streams, it's like maybe there's a unique way that you start doing it. I don't know what that is, right? But until you start doing your psychic readings, you won't find your groove, okay? And I want you to copy others, okay? Because that copying feeling is the imposter syndrome, feeling like you're not good enough. No, I'm just copying others, because you're breaking out of the shell of everything you've known for you to birth out. That's a birthing process. So feel the comparison and the imposter syndrome and do it anyway, because you'll bust through all these layers and your thing will come out. But if you don't start and consistently do, okay, you'll never find. Now, when I first started online, I had no idea how long it was going to take. I just knew I had to do this thing. But after time, it was like, oh my God, after 18 months, how much longer do I have to, like, why isn't it working yet? And every time we feel that when we've been doing it for a point, we're about to break through to a new level. So keep going. So recap, the 3 crucial magnification keys are not practicing your own rituals and sticking to a dedicated ritual practice for yourself in whatever that is, okay? If I wanted to get good at surfing, for example, I'm going to need to be surfing every single day, okay? For how long? I don't know. I just know I've got to keep doing it, okay? And for example, it's sort of also like, how do you know when you've made it? Like, for example, if you're committing to a health and exercise routine because you want to get healthy, when's the point when you know that you're healthy? Like you don't, you just keep going, right? Like, sure, we might notice that you've lost weight over a period of weeks or something, but when is the actual point? We just keep going. Yeah. So your own practice and rituals, following your intuition when it doesn't make logical sense, not comparing or copying others, but in the start, it will feel like that. Do it anyway, because you're busting through all these layers. And the 3 biggest mistakes that you don't want to make is not trusting the messages and actioning them. There was like multifaceted layers to that. So if you missed the start of the live stream, please watch the start. Not practicing outside of your comfort zone. Talked lots about that today. And not continuing the work on yourself. We always have to know where our red flags are, where we're not seeing things, and that's what mentors and mentorships are for. Okay, that's the day 3 of the 3 biggest workshops. I'm going to go through comments now. Trust your intuition, become a certified intuitive healer. Investment increases in just, less than 48 hours now. So just comment trust below if you'd like the details for that. It is our 9-month certification course. We start in February next year, and you get lifetime access to the course. So we go through the course, but if you get behind or life happens, you've got lifetime access to the course. You just come back where you've picked off, where you stopped off, or you just continue with us and then come back to the pieces that you've missed. Like, you've got lifetime access, but we go through that course together next year. Okay, so let's see where these, I'll just check these comments now. I felt cool to just do a flow of training then. So I'll just go through the comments now. Suzette says, I was going to sign up with someone else and I chose you. That's amazing. It happens, right? It's like, and we're just guided to where we're meant to be. Like when we know we're meant to have when we have a purpose and we can feel that inside our soul, like we know we're here to make a big impact in the world. Like we're 100% guided. Like, you know, especially when we're investing in ourselves, like we will not make the wrong decision, right? Like we're guided, and that's where it's like, thought we are going to go with this person and then we'd go with this person, and it's like, what? And it's always the better one. Like we know that. That's hilarious. I love that so much. Okay, so just going back through these comments, yes, the full moon energies this week have been massive, yeah? A lot of people have been feeling it, including myself. It's been big, really, really big. Sharon says, I do Facebook Lives, just need to up the ante. Yeah, just consistency. Consistency is key, you know, like, and the thing is that, you know, if every day feels too much for you, I'm like, well, number one, how serious are you about building a business? Because if you want to grow organically and you don't have financial backing to run ads or engage an advertising marketing agency, then you will need to be doing daily live streams, or you'll just take way longer to grow. So otherwise, just like commit to certain days. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And they're your days that you do it and you do not miss them, you know, like consistency and dedication is the key. And so some of you commented ritual. So just comment ritual if you'd like the clearing every sexual partner ritual that I've been giving to my friends, my clients. You are my friends, clients that came through from my clients. And like I said, when you watch that explanation video on how to do it, you'll see it's from when I was in 2018. It was, yeah, it just came through. It channeled through. It was so strong. And I felt like I needed to share it with more people than just her. So there we are. Here we are 5 years later. Okay. So yeah, dedication, that's the thing. And yeah, so the Wildly Wealthy Witches series as well, if you would like to watch that, part 3 is about to drop. It's been like in gestation. It's been like all these things that have been happening, and I'm like, just been trusting the timing of part 3 dropping, and I'm really excited about that. But if you really want to understand wealth, if you want to build wealth, you know, and be like wildly wealthy in your witchy self, that's definitely the series for you. So just comment which if you'd like to watch that. Mandy says, so what if you feel like you're not doing it right? I don't know, I feel drawn to do lives on spirituality, but I'm not sure how without training, and I don't have the money for the training. I don't know, maybe just do it. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, you know, it's kind of, I don't have money for the training, and I'm like, that's an excuse to me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, there's always a way to get a job, to get a loan, to like borrow money. Like, you know, like I might be sounding like a bitch right now, but when we really want to do something, we find the fucking cash. We make it happen. Like there is just like no ounce in doubt that we make it happen. Right? If we really want to buy that piece of food, we'll just buy it. Like we will make it happen. If we really want to buy the bottle of wine, we'll buy it. Like if we really want to sign up to that course, we'll fucking do it. If we really want that car, we'll make it happen. Right? It's like not having money as an excuse for not doing something is an excuse. Like I know I'm sounding like a bitch and like it might be sounding pretty harsh, but I'm like, it's truth. Yeah? There's always a way to find a way to make it happen. And so when you say like, you know, drawn to doing lives on spirituality, I'm like, the thing is that when you first get up to start doing and talking about something, like if you know, scroll back and watch all my early videos or go and find on my, you know, website, when I introduce myself, like, you know, I call myself the Life Purpose Queen. I call myself an intuitive healer and life purpose mentor. Did you know that those labels did not come to me when I first got on live stream? They came to me 2.5 years later. 2.5 years. How committed are you to your purpose? How committed are you to your work? To doing what you're born to do, to uncovering that is trying to come out of you. Because that is like when we, as I said, like when we do a live stream, we're going to bust through these things, right? When we start doing readings, we're going to bust through these things, right? 2.5 years, whoops. But if you watch my early live streams, you'll see I introduced myself as a single mother, as a psychic, as a yoga teacher, as a entrepreneur. I didn't know what to call myself. Every time I go on live stream, I'm like, hi, I'm Hannah, I'm a psychic, yoga teacher. Okay, let's start. Every single time I got on live stream for 2.5 years, I did not know what to call myself. And after all these synchronicity things, and 2.5 years later, the Life Purpose Queen, Intuitive Healer, and Life Purpose Mentor started dropping in, and I was like, oh, that's what I am. 2.5 years of fumbling the fuck around. How committed are you? There's no excuses. Not knowing or not having the financial backing is not there. That's an excuse to just doing it. Suzette says, or like when you try and go live but your phone breaks and now no phone. Like my computer works but I'm just getting used to this MacBook, so it's holding me back. Yeah, how interesting, right? I talked about 2016, and when I first started in 2016, it was like July. I remember so clearly because I bought the online course, How to Do Online Courses, and I started going through that training, and it was like July. And then by the time I got to like August, beginning of September, I'd gone through the training enough and was setting everything up. And I was setting up this, whatever part on my website at the time, I was using like WordPress or something. And it came up with this error message saying that my system on my computer was too old to use this function and system. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, I fucking could have thrown the computer out the fucking window. I was like, what? My computer's too old to keep going? I was just pretty sure it was days. I was fumbling. I was so angry. And I was so angry at Spirit. I remember driving down the road and I was like, if you want me to do this work, then you need to help me manifest a new computer now. This is when I just began in 2016. I wasn't even making money in my business then. It took me 18 months to make $1,700 in 1 month. I'm pretty sure until then I was making like $100 to $200 a month. Like, how dedicated are you? How much are you using money as an excuse? Lo and behold, I don't know how much longer. I don't know. Was it a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later? I can't remember now. But my auntie gifted me money to buy a MacBook computer. When there's a will, there's a way. But shit will happen to test you. You really want to do this? Let's just see. Computer too old? Phone gonna break? Reckon you don't have any money? All right then, no worries. The universe is just waiting for you. Yes, we are always healing and always learning. The gaps in between how much we're healing and how often we're healing get longer and longer. But when we first start our healing journey, it will feel intense and it's a lot. And then the longer, it'll get longer and longer before, stuff comes up. And then when stuff does come up, we work through it quicker. Yeah, we're always learning. So Suzette says, but it's temporary and I'll get back on track in the meantime. Exactly. There's lots of other, like when stuff happens like this, there's definitely other things we can do to get prepared. So as you said, I've been taking the opportunity to organize my personal space, shift my spaces, which is, getting the clutter out. And it's kind of like, if that's not flowing this second, right, I'm going to do this. And then we come back to this and exactly. Yep. Emmy says, lots comes up and I'll bring things that you didn't even know you needed to heal. Yes. If you're even thinking about it, it'll be the best choice for you on your healing journey and what you will learn. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Like the stuff that just uncovers and you learn and grow from is, I think that's why really we're on earth to become more conscious, and we do that by these pieces. Yeah. Okay. So just still going through these comments here. So Suzette says, energy all over the place and so much going on. Water issues again, money flow. It's huge, right? Like, yeah, that's huge. The energy's been really big this week on the past, like on the full moon. It was the 333 moon for those of you who joined in the full moon ceremony. It was like a really significant 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days thing that I've been talking about. So, and that alongside it's been a really big moon. So Mandy says, heavy drugs or pills, just curious. I've definitely done a live stream on it somewhere if you want the full details. I think I did it not too long ago again or something. Or maybe I need to. But yeah, I was smoking crack, working in a strip club, pills, speed, you name it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I did a live stream somewhere about it. if you want to watch it, I can find it. Casey said, I just started vending at flea markets and fall festivals selling my jewelry. And it's new, but getting more comfortable and plan to do many more in 2024. You can also do readings on the side. Just saying. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Yes, the ritual. Yes, like I said, comment that below. The witch below. I'll send you that for sure. Sue said that helped me quite a lot knowing this things you talked about. Yeah, so if what I've talked about in this particular training has really helped you, or just like, you know, especially with building a business or understanding how to do this psychic work as a business or whatever, definitely do not miss my Wildly Wealthy Witches free training. I've done part 1 and part 2. I'm about to do part 3. But that, like, yeah, you don't want to miss that training either. So just comment witch and I'll send you that as well. Like, that's, yeah, like, if this has helped you, that'll be like next level help you, yeah? Okay. Suzette says, so I need to yell at the universe? Maybe. Both water pumps, bro. Yeah, great, right? Fuck. Like, you know, sometimes there's asking the rest and sometimes there's putting your foot down and stamping like a toddler. And I mean, like, not like, I mean, sometimes that helps us get energy out, but also it's the command. It's the command. It's the tolerating. I've had enough. That's my line. Sort it out. I'm done. Like, you need to take care of this. Like, strong, heart-centered command voice, like down to your base. That's enough. Do it. You know, like, this is the commanding energy. Like, the universe is responding to us. Okay. So it's kind of like, where's your energy? Poor me, victim. Oh my God, what's happening? Everything's just like flowing around, bumping into me. Well, actually, no. Like, sort it out, tolerance level, right? It's a boundary. Where's your energy at? Center yourself. Heart, base, ground, out. Done. Very different energies, yeah? Take your power back with it. Yeah. Okay. Think outside the box, 100%. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I didn't really talk about it in my book. Can't wait for Wildly Wealthy Witches part 3. I know, me too. Like, it's been like such a gestation process with it. Yeah, it's definitely coming next week. So excited about that. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. This is the final workshop of our Psychic Skills Activator. If you haven't watched all 3 of this series, just comment replays below and I'll send you part 1 and part 2. And if you haven't got the PDF, you'll be able to grab that in there as well. So definitely want to catch that there. Sue says, what helped knowing I am allowed to make mistakes in the process, don't have to be perfect in my exploring. Took me like 2.5 years to figure out what I was really doing. And then only in the last couple of years, like in the 7-year cycle that I'm in year 7 now, year 7, 8, it's been a whole nother recalibration progress. I feel like I've started again because of like, and it is a 7-year cycle thing. And it's like, I feel like this year I've been like cleaning up from the last 7 years, getting clear on what I actually do, you know, like, and again, like in 2016, when I began, Trust Your Intuition wasn't a course. Trust Your Intuition wasn't even a certification. Do you know I ran Trust Your Intuition originally as a 5-week, 5 live stream training for $97. I did 5 live streams for Trust Your Intuition for $97. That was the course. And then I turned those live streams into a self-paced course. So I refilmed and I put them all in little videos, which is what you see in Trust Your Intuition now today. And then in 2018, so 2 years later, then it became a certification course, and I filmed a whole nother section on the certification section and about having clients, because for 2 years, even though I was teaching people psychic development and the course, all my clients and everything I started getting, they were like, how do I do this? Or how do I be certified? Or like, do you know what I mean? It just evolved into that. But if I didn't start where I was being called, none of that would have happened. So 2018, it became a certification course. And then and then the past 3 years I've been running it live trainings. And then next year I'm re-recording the original trainings so that it is self-paced. You'll still have access to the original trainings, but I'm re-recording it, the whole course, to be self-paced because I want this Hannah wisdom now, because I didn't have this when I began. I didn't have $1 million business when I began, and I really want to re-record the trainings. It'd be the same trainings, of course, but speaking from Hannah's wisdom today. And I'm really fucking excited about that because there's been a lot of evolution since 2016. So that's really, really exciting. And this is why I keep saying to people, I'm like, fucking start. Like 5 weeks on a 5 live stream training for $97, and look what it is today. Turn it into $1 million business. Come on. Yeah? All right. See you guys soon.